So, okay, you can ask me if you have any doubt. Like you were saying that you're not able to sustain it, right? Like there's a consistency problem with most of you guys, right? Like you start a habit and you can't sustain it.
Yes, yes, that's the problem.
Yes, 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 correct.
So why do you think you can't sustain it? Like I'm just discussing with you guys. Like why do you think sustenance is so hard? Do you lack motivation? Do you feel stuck? Do you compare with other person, or something like you don't get the results? That's why you can't sustain it. Like what's the major problem for you guys?
The main thing is we don't get the results.
Get the
We
results.
don't see any
So,
progress. Yes.
so
We
there's
don't
no
see the
progress. You
progress.
don't.
See the progress.
You don't see the progress. So yeah, that's one of the biggest problems. Like this model is very interesting because according to this first stage, first 22 days, this is from 5 a.m. club. In the first 22 days, it's called the destruction phase. Because what happens is, to create a new habit, you have to remove another habit, right? That makes sense, right? To create a new habit, you have to let go of one habit so that that time is allotted to this new habit. So what happens in the first stage is, like let's assume you're trying to go to the gym. For the first 22 days, you have to break some lazy habit. Maybe you have to stop binge watching something. Maybe you have to stop using your phone so much, and you have to take that energy, that resource, and put it into gym. So this stage is the destruction is happening in this stage, so it's hard. And the second stage, what he calls is installation. Again, 22 days it will take for destruction, like for the old pathways to go. Like he uses neuroscience in this. He says that for the old pathways to get destroyed completely, it takes 22 days, and then installation happens, the new pathways are being created. I use a very good example all the time for this. For example, let's imagine you're building, like there are two ways, two banks, and there's a river in between. Let's just assume you're on the bank here, like you're watching Netflix, that's your bank, and there's other bank, it's going to the gym. What you do is, in the starting, you have to build a bridge. You have to build a bridge between this point to this point, A point to B point. And then in building the bridge, in the beginning you will start with wood and mud or something very weak stuff. Then you will go using, like in the first 22 days you will build a something that is very fragile, you'll just build it. And then the second day you will make it maybe with wood or something, maybe a little stronger. And the third time what you will do is you will build with steel in the last 22 days. So in the 66 days, what happens is, you're building that bridge in this habit and it's being formed. What happens is, the bridge you're building is actually being used by neurons that fire together, wire together. So what happens is, these neurons are building this neuroplasticity. There's a structure that's being built in your brain that's only specific for this habit. Like you already have old habits, you're destroying the old structure and you're building a new structure. And this structure will be built in 66 days. So what happened is, when you keep doing this thing for 66 days, it goes to a point that's called automaticity point. So it's like, it's better if you go to the gym than not go to the gym, because the pathway in your mind is active and it's pushing you to go to the gym. And it's called integration. The third stage is called integration. So when it's integrated into your being, it becomes a habit. Once it becomes a habit, it is easy to sustain it. So the problem is, we don't stay for 66 days, right? Like we don't even stay for 10 days without getting result. So for that, what happens is, we feel stuck and we compare with others. Like most of the time, whatever habit you're trying to do, you try to compare it with others, and it will make you feel unworthy. It will make you feel like you're not getting results, and you will lack motivation to do. You'll feel lazy and your consistency drops. So what's happening there is, for the most of the time, why you aren't able to sustain is, this is from Atomic Habits, and this is by James Clear. This is one of the fantastic models. What happens is, there's a lot of potential. There's a lot of potential in you, but this place, what most of you guys will get stuck, what most of us guys, like even I get stuck, is the valley of disappointment. Because what happens is, when you just start with the habit, now there's not much results. Can you see this? It's almost identical, it's almost same. There's not even a single change for a certain period of time. And even after some time there may be result, but it's still very, very low. Like you see other guys getting a lot more results than you. and you feel stuck, you feel lack of motivation, you don't want to continue, because there's a value of the disappointment. It happens for 66 days is what I'm thinking, because after a couple of months you will definitely see some results. Whatever habit you're trying to install into your life, you'll definitely see some results after 66 days. So I'm saying the 66 days is this point. This point is automaticity point. You think that progress is linear, but progress is not linear. It's like curve. It's like it's it compounds with consistency. Like what happens is it doesn't grow very much till this point, and from this point you can see there's an upward curve, there's an upward dive in this habit. So results come like at quickly, like at a point after you cross this automaticity point. When you're doing it every day, it gets easier and results are more consistent. So you can see here the results are more consistent and they're peaking. What happens is your day stack, day by day you're doing the same stuff, neural pathways are being built, muscle memory is being held. See, if for example, if you take a very good um, musician, he's playing some guitar, what happens is his mind already has all those pathways, all those small neural pathways built, and he exactly know how to do it. Like even his muscle memory, his hand has memory. You know, every muscle is having a memory. Every muscle can remember to the way you do things. Like you don't think about eating anymore, it just happens. You don't think about drinking a water, it just happens. Those actions, they're encoded into your muscle memory. So like that, when you reach the automaticity point, when the musician is practicing for over 10,000 hours, he's been doing it again and again and again. He's a maestro now. Now he doesn't have to think. He's just doing it. That's the thing you need to understand this. You just do it. It becomes automatic. And how to deal is my value of disappointment is a big question. And for that, I would say that you need to start to enjoy the process. You need to uh, think as result and process as the same. Like you need to think that if I do this process, I'll get this result, but I also want to focus on the process, not only on the results. Results are important. Without results, you will not be doing anything. But you need to understand the process is also important. But the problem is the process doesn't seem exciting, right? Are you with me, guys? Are you with me? Like, do you have any doubts still here?
No, no, no.
No, 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 no.
I'll just continue then. See, what happens is we don't even stay with the process because the process is hard. Like Robin Sharma says, all change is hard in the beginning, messy in the middle, and glorious in the end. But we get stuck in the hard and messy parts and don't usually go to the glorious part. Even if you have created one habit very successfully in your life, may it be whatever habit it may be, even if you have done a single small habit, it makes a difference. You know, it's difficult to do it every single day because we don't have the inherent motivation in us. How the human body, when we were like a 10,000, 1 lakh years ago, like when we were like animals, like when we were just being civilized, we only had one motive, that was to survive. And to survive, you have to be in a power saving mode. That is what survival is. You have to always be careful that you have some energy to go without food, without sleeping, because your body needed that kind of protection. It always chose the path of least effort. That's why we always be lazy. We are fundamentally, we are inherently, we are wired to be lazy. And that's not a bad thing because back then it was necessary, but evolution happened so quickly and our primitive mechanisms were still stuck in the past. So what's happening is there's a disconnect between reality and your functioning, your mechanism, the wiring you have. Basically, the software is outdated. The software is not updated yet. It's still there. The hardware is there. Hardware is the same, and even the software is the same. We are not updating our software according to the latest changes. If that makes sense. See, human body is in hardware, and the way you work function is software. What we are doing today is we are trying to upgrade our software to a certain level so that it feels easier, it feels effortless to do the things we are doing. So once you know this thing, once you know that there's going to be some place there would be no disappointment, your expectation will, like, the problem is you have some expectations for the result. You want results immediately. But if you remove the expectations, if you see how your human body is, if you see how your mind is, if you know that this is going to happen, you don't have expectation, but you have this thing like, if I do this consistently for a certain period of time, it gets easier and results come. You need to only focus on this thing instead of thinking about results will come. When will the results come? The expectations, those expectations are reducing your capability to do stuff, right? That's the okay. Anyway, like what I was saying is your expectations get reduced and your capacity to do work increases. Actually, I have one quote that I've written from Bhagavad Gita that's very, 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 very influential, even for every single person. That quote has a lot of depth. It's in chapter 3, verse 30. Renouncing all actions in me, with the mind centered on the self, free from hope and egoism, free from mental fever, you do fight. What's it saying here is renouncing all actions in me. Here, me is not God. Here, me is something higher than yourself, some purpose, your ideal self, whatever it is. Me is your goal. You shouldn't be identifying with yourself. Instead, you should be identifying with the goal. Then you can do the work without expecting results, without having the egocentric desire. So yeah, this verse, I would say that there's a lot in this verse, but I'm not going to all of it because I went in depth in my other video regarding this chapter and this verse. So we'll be back to here. Just remember that when you renounce all expectation of results, you can do the action present, and you will be more in this moment. You will be functioning more effectively. So yeah, what I'm saying is this thing, how to get over this value of disappointment. What you can do is, there's something you can do. According to James Clear, to make the process more enjoyable, you have to make it easy. First rule, that's the first rule. The thing is, reduce your load. Say if you want to go to the gym, because I love this example, because going to the gym is one of the hardest things a person can do. I keep using it again and again so that it stays consistent. So what I'm saying is, you want to go to the gym, but you don't have the motivation. You just keep a target. I'll go for 1 hour. 1 hour gym feels like hell because your body is not equipped to deal with such magnitudes of change, right? So what you do is, I'll go to the gym for 5 minutes. James Clear says, James Clear even goes to further depth and he says, I'll just wear my shoes to the gym. I'll just wear the shoes and I'll remove the shoes. He says, while doing this, there's a neural pathway being built, the gym going neural pathway. So what happens is, it's very easy to wear your shoes and remove them. So when you do this for a couple of days, you'll be like, okay, I'm anyway wearing the shoes. I'll go to the gym. What you do is, you go to the gym, you don't even work out, you just go to the gym and you come back. When you do this for a 3-4 days again, you will wear the shoes, you'll go to the gym, you're like, oh my god, I'm just coming here, I'm this is too much, I'll go do something at least. Like I'm putting so much effort to go there, already my neural pathway is being built. You'll go to the gym, you do for 5 minutes, you don't do much, you do for 5 minutes. After you do for 5 minutes, you don't care about what other people think, you just go, you do your 5 minutes, you come back. After you do this ritual for 3-4 days again, you will feel like 5 minutes is too less. Let me do something else. I think you're getting what's happening here. Your pathways is being built and you're not putting in too much effort from the previous thing. Like you're not trying for radical change. You're instead breaking it down into layers and layers and smaller habits. And when you continue this will result in you staying longer at the gym. You'll be like, okay, 5 minutes is good, 20 minutes now. Then again, 30 minutes now 45 minutes. And finally, you reach that 1 hour goal, but in increments. Atomic habits, that's what it's happening. Okay, that is about making it easy. You're reducing the load. That's extremely helpful, and make it attractive. Like, how do you make it attractive? There are different ways that you can make this thing attractive. You can make the habit attractive. The one thing you can do is, you can add a random reward. You can just use some mechanism. There are many modalities and mechanisms that James Clear discussed in the book, that you add some value to it, you add some reward to it. Like, in the sense, if you go to the gym for the next 3 days, you can eat an ice cream. Like, the reward is only you giving it to yourself, instead of someone else giving, or you looking for the rewards externally. You can just do that. See, example, you're watching a lot of TV and you want to cut down. You will say that, if I go to the gym for this week, I can watch TV for this amount of time. So that's how you can reduce a bad habit at one. Like, it's not a bad habit in the per se. Like, you can reduce overconsumption, and you can also boost this habit. You're getting me, right? You can boost this gym going habit. At the same time, you can give yourself, and you know what happens is when you do this way, when you start valuing the stuff, the value increases. When you start making it scarce, the demand increases when the supply is low, na? So when you're watching one movie, one episode of a TV series, after 1 week, the even watching the TV series has some value to it. Like it's something precious. Now, if you're just binge watching, it doesn't have the same value. Like I hope you're getting it. What we are doing is we are modifying our life bit by bit so that we'll reduce our energy wasting activities, and will increase the activities that will add more value and positivity to our life, right? So other thing is you can make it obvious. What do you mean by obvious? What do you mean by obvious is you can, environmental cues are very important. What James says is motivation is overrated, environment is underrated. What you do is on Instagram, on Twitter, on whatever platform you're using, if your thing is to go to the gym, make everything about gym. Follow everyone else, unfollow everything else. Like whatever it is, you don't care. You just unfollow. Even on YouTube, even on your wall, wherever it's possible, just keep clues of it. What you're doing is you're making your environment suggest all the time. These people are working out. These people are working out. And the one more thing is you can join a community where people are doing this stuff already. Like people, like you can join a gym club, maybe something like that, so that people appreciate there, like people know your struggles. Join a Facebook group of some gym going people, or join some trainer. When you invest in it now, it becomes more attractive, and as you see other people doing it, as you see other people struggling and overcoming it, you will believe that you can do. And everything about this, like if you need to be obsessed to a certain point to like make this a real habit, at least for 60 days. You follow only this stuff, what happens is your mind will accumulate this stuff and your mind will nudge you in that direction. So it becomes very obvious that you have to work out. It becomes very obvious to your mind that this thing we are doing, I'm fixed at doing this thing, that's why I'm putting in so much effort. So you can, once one this has created, you can reduce the intensity, but till the point it's created, you need to make sure you're maintaining it, right? And how to make it satisfying. You can do the same thing by adding some reward after some time. It will make it both attractive and satisfying. And what happens is if you join a community where people are encouraging you, it becomes more attractive because they value, like if you go to the gym, they value and they understand because they're also going to the gym. They know the hard work and they value you. It makes it attractive and satisfying both at the same time. Rewards and community are two of the strongest motivators that can be there. Like they will be pushing you towards yourself, and they'll also be encouraging in some way. Like whenever you miss a day, you don't have to punish yourself, but you can see that I'm missing a day, and you can tell the people there and they can give you some support. The thing is, being vulnerable is hard, but in this space where everyone is talking about their struggles, everyone is talking about their hardships, and you're supporting them, they're supporting you, there's a connection. We humans fundamentally seek connection and a community. What I'm trying to create with Yajna is I want to create a community where good things are valued, and when people can't do it, people aren't able to do it, they'll support it. So we've been 30 minutes into it, we have 10 more minutes. Are you guys free? Like do you guys have some more time that we can spend? Like I can go into deep into other stuff as well if you are interested.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I have
Ram.
time. I have time.
You have time, right? Ashi, what about you? Even you have time, right? You can text me if you can't talk. I'm just stopping the recording till here so that okay, I'll continue this. I'm just stopping the recording.